focusing on since Monday, taken from Romans 8, verse 34. Who is he that condemneth? It is Christ that died, yea, rather, that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of God, who also maketh intercession for us. And on Wednesday, I spoke on it from the perspective of Christ dying for us and how his blood is able to cover, how his blood is able to atone, to wash, and to restore us. And I'm just going to be focusing on the second part of this theme where it says, Yeshua is at the right hand of God, making intercession for us. And I just want to bring our attention to the setting up of the courtroom. And the court, it is known that in the courtroom, you have the prosecutor on the left and the defense attorney is on the right. And when you think of Satan's role is the the prosecutor. And the word of God supports that by telling us that he is the accuser of the brethren. And Jesus is our defense attorney. And again, the word of God supports that because it tells us that he is at the right hand, of God, making intercession for us. And usually in the court of law, the defense attorney usually defend the one that has some criminal charge against him or her, right, to see how they can receive some mercy or compassion from the court. And the job of the prosecutor is to make sure they're bringing all the evidence, they're proving to the judge, to the juror that, this person is guilty, they should get the full book, they should be locked away. And again, you see that analogy of Satan and Yeshua, right? And so this morning, whenever Satan brings up a case against us, it is usually true, regardless, although we know that he is the father of lies. He is the father of lies because he is deceiving us. He's telling us lies. But he's not the father of lie going before God because he already knew that God knows everything. He sees everything. So he cannot go before God with his mouth filled with lies. He sent for God credible evidence. Evidence where he knows that God also knows. However, he can make assumption of our action as to why we are being faithful to God. And it goes back to Job. He makes assumption that the only reason Job is serving you is because of all that you have blessed him with, right? And you know the rest of the story. And in the end, again, because God knows the beginning from the end, he knew that Job was not serving him based on what he was blessing Job with. But Job had a genuine, love for God. And going back to John 8, when they brought the woman caught in the act of adultery, right there you see how the prosecutor of the woman, they come and their intention was to ensure that the law of Moses was administered to this woman, because the law said, anyone caught in the act of adultery, the male and the female, they were supposed to be stoned to death. So they come as the prosecutor. They were not telling lie. Yes, they were the woman's accuser, but they did not come telling lie to Yeshua. They brought facts. They brought evidence. Right? And then Yeshua, being that defense attorney, being that intercessor for this woman, he knew how to argue the case. And he was able, when he was done, he was able now to restore the woman. And Yeshua made the profound speech to her and said, go sin no more. So this woman was guilty unto death. And it is the same thing for us this morning, people of God. The adversary is bringing up our sin. He's bringing up our past. He's bringing up our actions. And again, as he's bringing them up before the Father, He cannot appear before the Father with lies. He's appearing with evidence. He has facts. He has receipts on us. He's playing them out. And here is Yeshua now knowing that we are guilty as charged. And he's there interceding, because if we're innocent, he doesn't need to intercede. Because the word of God tells us that truth will be our shield and our buckler. So we don't need anybody to defend us when truth is at play. The truth itself will be our defense. But whenever we find ourselves in that position where we are guilty, so he sees it and he's bringing it up. Oh, Father, I see this one, was gossiping. I see this one here, committing adultery. I see this one here, committing fornication. I see this one here stealing something. I see this one here, being unmerciful. And all of that, he is collecting the evidence and he's bringing it before our Father. Right? But again, because Jesus is in the business of restoration, he is pleading, he is supplicating, he is reminding the Father of his death, that he died not to condemn us, but as we believe in him that we might be saved. The word of God says, while we were yet sinners. So God himself know we were sinful, we were wretched, we were guilty, we were condemned to death. But again, because the blood of Yeshua, it is defending us, it is covering us, it is interceding for us. We have hope, we have life, we have second chance, many chances at times. The word of God said there was a time we were not even a part of the commonwealth of Israel, but through the death of Yeshua, we can now say we are a part of the commonwealth of Israel. So my question is, so because the blood of Yeshua is making intercession for us, because Yeshua is there pleading to the Father when certain judgment is supposed to be our portion. And sometimes too, we know that we have been in error. We have repeated that error over and over and over again. But Paul asks this question for us to really ponder on, and it's a very popular question that we know, taken from Romans 6, verse 1 to 2. What shall we say then? Shall we continue